Welcome back, friends. I'm Yvonne Davis, author, astrologer, and life transformation coach. So today I have a video titled Trump's Missing Information, and there are going to be a lot of charts in this reading. So before we get started, I just want to request, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, click like on this video, share with friends and family and on social media, and please leave your comments. And by the way, I also want to request, sometimes people send information to me or comments to me in email, and I really want to request that you always do that in the comment section below the video, because I do go in and read all of the comments, and that information that you're sharing with me might actually be extremely helpful to other viewers who are reading through the comments. Plus, it helps me to prioritize my work, since you know, I have to work with my clients and my students and patrons through email. So the comments that are related to anything to do with the videos should be in the videos below and not sent to me in email, okay? And then also, I wanted to say that I am working on developing more gifts for my patrons. So if you want to become a patron at the $5 or $10 tier, you can get a free birth chart, and I'm offering my books in PDF form. So at the $5 tier, you can now qualify for one book, and at the $10 tier for both books. So if you're already a patron and you have not received those gifts, then please contact me at admin@yvonnedavis.com. And also, if you have any requests for videos, please let me know through Patreon if you're through Patreon if you're a patron. And because I get lots of requests through emails and through YouTube, but I will be giving highest priority to all of my patrons who make requests. And thirdly, you get the videos some videos sooner, or some videos are exclusive and they're all ad-free. And finally, you get more personal interaction with me. So those are the benefits of becoming a patron, especially asking for what you want, because I definitely make those higher priority than requests on YouTube. And then the other thing is, if you are interested in my astrology workshop, 6-week astrology workshop, please click on the link below. If you're interested in my financial freedom workshop, please click on the link below. Or if you're interested in ordering a reading, please click on the link below. And the Patreon link is also in the description box below. So, and one more gift I'm giving to my patrons is discounts on the workshops. I can't give discounts on the readings right now. I will look into doing that in the future, but right now I'm not able to. And also, I will give, I'm looking at creating an income-based structure, like a sliding scale. So if you're interested in my workshops, and you're not a patron, if you're a patron or not a patron, please contact me if you need a discount, because I'm definitely giving discounts to patrons and clients who've ordered readings in the past. And if you need to be on a sliding scale, please let me know and email me at admin@yvonnedavis.com. So I'm really trying to make this information affordable to as many people as I possibly can, and increase their accessibility to me personally, and more one-on-one time with me personally. So if you need that, then just contact me at admin@yvonnedavis.com. Or if you ordered a reading and haven't yet received your email receipt, sometimes they go into spam. So if for some reason you didn't get it, again, email me at admin@yvonnedavis.com, and we'll set up your appointment. All right, so that's all the business stuff out of the way. So now we can get to the content of the video. And the first thing I want to do is to talk about how I'm going to break this down, because there's a lot of information in this video. So the first thing I want to do is talk about what I'm calling karmic dominoes. As I've said in many of my other videos, the and all astrologers, readers, and psychics who were worth their salt have been talking about what's coming this year in 2020. Partially because of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which equates to the Reformation of 500 years ago, that energy. And secondly, the eclipses that happened within days of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So we knew big changes were coming. And thirdly, Uranus and Taurus. So again, any astrologer particularly, or reader or psychic that are worth their salt have been talking about this for a long time and saying this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. Well, now it's here. Okay, we are living it right now in 2020. So these are the karmic dominoes, and I'm calling them code red. Some of them are code red hot buttons. So we need to really look at the dates of those code red hot buttons. Right now, there's this desire to return to business as usual by Easter. And even though Trump is saying that, you know, and that's part of the missing information, which I'll get into more depth as we look at the charts. But and, you know, I think everybody really feels that way. There's a desire to return to business as usual. Nobody enjoys being in the midst of this tumultuous, chaotic, disruptive situation. Nobody enjoys watching the economy contract. Nobody enjoys, well, I was going to say nobody enjoys losing their job, but actually that's not always true. As I've told you before, that I've actually had a couple of situations. One was in 2005, I think it was. Yeah, 2005. And the other was 2009 in February, right after the 2008 crash. But both of those times when I was laid off, I was able to qualify for a severance package and unemployment. And I was absolutely thrilled. I was absolutely over the moon because I had wanted desperately to get out of both of those jobs. And so having a source of income land in my lap and be freed up to follow my heart. Oh my God, that was like Christmas. So I want to, you know, bring that into the picture as well, because the thing about it is that Venus is in Taurus right now. That's her home sign. And Taurus is all about values. Taurus is the planet of, well, I mean, the sign, Venus in Taurus, that's her sign. And it's all about the things that we love, the things that we're passionate about. It is about our material well-being as well, and our body's well-being. But it's also about our values, the things that we value and love, and coming from love. And so with Venus in Taurus, we really need to focus on love instead of fear and coming from our hearts. Now, Saturn and Mars are, at this time, Saturn is already in Aquarius, and Mars is going to move into Aquarius and conjoin Saturn and then move beyond Saturn and pass through the entire sign of Aquarius. Aquarius rules humanity. It also rules technology, the internet, and all digital technologies, and the future, meaning this is the age of Aquarius that we're moving into now. Literally, we are moving into the age of Aquarius now. And so Saturn and Mars and Aquarius are showing us what that's going to look like. We're just knocking on the door right now, entering into the age of Aquarius. But Saturn and Mars and Aquarius are going to help us to see what that's going to look like. This is a wake-up call that we're in the midst of right now, because it's telling us we need to transition. We need to transform. We need a revolution. And people don't do that if everything is business as usual. They only do that when things get turned upside down. So that's why this is a wake-up call for transformation and transition and revolution. All right, so there's also a Jupiter-Pluto Pallas Athena conjunction, and all of this together is a call to live from love instead of fear. Okay, so if you're living in fear right now, I would say do some meditation and some journaling to find out what really matters to you? What do you truly value in love? That's Venus and Taurus. And that's the Jupiter, Pluto, Pallas, Athena conjunction, because this is all about empowering yourself to take action, okay? To create something. Pallas Athena is the warrior goddess of arts, crafts, skills, talents, and strategy. She wants us to create something new that comes from our heart, that comes from love instead of fear. And so if you're not doing that, you are wasting a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I feel so serious about this. In my mind, this is truly a life or death matter. You will never get this opportunity again in your entire lifetime. And that's literal, because the Jupiter, Pluto, Pallas, Athena conjunction will never come around in Capricorn, will never come around again in our lifetime. And this is the opportunity to empower yourself and to create something that comes from love, from your heart, from your bliss, from following your bliss. That's your heart, okay? That's love. That's what you're called to do. This is a calling, a call to adventure, a call to love, a call to create and to walk your path with heart and to empower yourself through that. So if you miss the call, well, you've missed a lifetime opportunity. So I take this very seriously. All right, so then the shit hits the fan in mid-May with the mid-May retrogrades, especially Pluto and Venus and the June 5th eclipse. So let's go look at that. And basically what I'm going to say is these don't contradict each other. The way to live through this is to follow the call to live from love. That's how you empower yourself. You don't empower yourself by going into panic and fear. You don't empower yourself by pointing fingers at other people who are screwing up, because yeah, there are a lot of people screwing up. It's easy to find people who are screwing up. Very easy. But that doesn't empower you. It may feel empowering, you know, to point fingers and to say this person is screwing up, they shouldn't be doing that. But it actually disempowers you because it takes away your ability to respond. So let's go look at the mid-May retrograde of Pluto. So pull that chart up. All right, so this is the Pluto retrograde on the US chart. And you can see here Pluto turns retrograde at 25 degrees. But the point is that Pluto will be stationary in the sky for a long time, like at least 3 weeks. And that energy is so intense, unbelievably intense. And at the same time that Pluto is stationary at 25 degrees for about 3 weeks, Jupiter moves into conjunction with our nation's natal Pluto. So this is also going to give us clues about the transformation that we need to go through. So instead of going into a panic and saying, oh my God, I can't believe what's happening, you know, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Who's to blame? Who's to blame? Instead, sit quietly, connect with your heart, connect with nature, connect with things and people that you love, meditate, journal, breathe deeply, go for walks, spend time in nature, spend time with people you love, not in the story, in the soap opera, you know, in this post-apocalyptic scientific, you know, or science fiction novel or movie that we're living in right now. No, connect with your heart, connect with nature, connect with love, and all things external to you that are connected to your heart in a heart-centered, love-based, grounded way. That's how you transform. And so Pluto is calling you to an initiation. And Pluto initiation is about going into the underworld, going down. The underworld is a metaphor for the subconscious and the shadow, going into the shadow. And this is both for every individual personally and for us as a nation and for us as a species, a global species, going into this transformation and going down into the shadow, going down into a cave. I mean, literally, if you can go out into nature and literally sit in a cave and meditate, that's the best thing you could possibly do during this time with Pluto stationing in the sky and with Jupiter moving into conjunction with our nation's natal Pluto. And do the inner transformation work. That's your initiation, okay? Our nation is going through an initiation. If you don't know what that means, Google it and get some books, you know, either read things online, you know, look for information from spiritual teachers on YouTube or online, or read books, or get audio programs or video programs or workshops, whatever you need to do to understand what this means. Because if you miss this opportunity, I mean, from my perspective, it is so valuable. It would be like taking $1 million and flushing it down the toilet if you miss this opportunity. And the other thing I've been noticing since I've been doing a lot of these readings now using the U.S. Sibley chart, which is the July 4th Declaration of Independence signing, that there is actually a mystic rectangle forming here based in the natal chart. One corner of it is Neptune, the other corner is Mercury in the 8th house, which is ruled by Pluto. And down here, actually, it's the transiting Neptune that is forming the other corner of the mystic triangle, and then over here to Pluto. So, and then of course, when Jupiter activates that conjunction to Pluto, or when any planet activates that conjunction to Pluto, it's activating all 4 corners of this mystic triangle. In fact, if any of these planets are activated, whether it's Pluto, Neptune, Mercury, or this transiting Neptune, it activates and lights up that mystic triangle. So it's an opportunity for spiritual evolution and consciousness evolution. All right, so these are the planets here we need to look for in the 2nd and 8th house of resources for our nation. And then the 3rd house is communication. But as I said before, a contagion is a communicable disease, okay? That's why it's in the it's getting activated by Mars in the 3rd house of communication. A communicable disease is a form of communication. And Mars is the planet that rules inflammation, infection, and fever. And it's about to move into conjunction with the natal moon. The natal moon of our nation. At the time of this Pluto stationing in the sky, stationing to move retrograde, stationing, you know, just like unmovable for almost 3 weeks, at the same time that Jupiter conjoins the natal Pluto. And then Mars will move into conjunction with the moon. And so there's a lot going on here, obviously. And then Mercury, the ruler of the 3rd house of communication, which, as we are learning, is also contagion, is conjunct Black Moon Lilith over our nation's Chiron. Okay, so this is serious business. And at the same time, the Sun is conjunct Uranus. And I hope that all of you who have been watching my channel for a long time, or just started watching my channel, understand what Uranus is doing here. Uranus is in Taurus in our 6th house of work and body, and it's bringing a revolution. It brings things that are shocking and surprising. It turns things upside down. It is the ruler of the tarot card, which is the lightning struck tower. It shatters everything. It shatters the ground beneath your feet and turns everything upside down so that you have to rebuild it. And it does it in a shocking way. And it just comes out of the blue where you never expected it. So So it's already starting to do that. But when the sun moves into conjunction with Uranus at the same time that Pluto stations direct and Jupiter is moving into conjunction with the natal Pluto, this and Mercury in conjunction with Black Moon Lilith is conjoining the nations Chiron. This is intense, okay? And also this is in Aries, and Chiron is transiting Aries. So all of these planets are activating the Aries energy, which means it gives even more power to Mars. So there's a lot going on here. And the moon's about to move into conjunction on the same day with Uranus in the 7th house of others. And Venus is going to retrograde right over Mars in the 7th house of the people. So yeah, so the shit's going to hit the fan. So that's why I'm warning you guys, because if I was going to be deleterious in my duties, then I would be like Trump and I would just say, everything's going to get better. You just don't worry about that, you know? And maybe you would feel better. You come here and you watch this video and you feel so much better. And you would miss the opportunity for transformation. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat you guys with respect and know that you can handle the truth. And also to get prepared, okay? Because, you know, we saw a little bit of what the panic looks like, but when the shit really hits the fan, that's going to magnify. So, yeah. So you have time right now from when I'm making this video in late March to late April. And then it's going to get even more intense as we move into May and Venus goes retrograde. And then we hit the eclipse on June 5th. So let's go ahead and pull that other document up where I was listing everything. So yeah, these are the time frames for the shit hitting the fan, okay? And so it's not going to get better, unfortunately. I mean, it feels like it's getting better. People want to believe it's going to get better, and they're going to do everything in their power to make it better, but it's not going to get better. So you may as well use this opportunity to get yourself prepared, okay? Because now you have time. Now you know what it looks like, and you know that it's not done, it's not over, and you have time to prepare, okay? So get prepared. All right, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing is economic slowdown, which correlates to this time frame as well. And then we'll be dealing with issues of global climate change as well when Mars is in Aries. So I am going to pause this video and pull that video up. Okay, so I just realized that I needed to bring up the June 5th eclipse because this has to do with the missing information. So this is it right here. There's this eclipse here. Now it's right over the ascendant, but Venus and the Sun activate these 2 points as well. Venus will activate Uranus 3 times, and it goes direct, retrograde, and direct again. And she will also stationary direct right over Mars. So the fact that she is retrograde in the 7th house of the people, conjunct the Sun, and over here is Venus conjunct the ascendant, and then Mars in Pisces is squaring that exactly at 15 degrees, moving into conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. This is the illness. Now, any of you who, if you were to go back and look at previous videos before this became a big issue, which I, for myself, put as prior to February 27th, because February 27th was the first time I made a video related to the infection. And so before that, I hadn't addressed it on my channel, but I kept calling this missing information. So if you go back and look at any videos prior to February 27th, before I started mentioning the illness, or if you got a reading from me prior to that time frame, before this became a major issue, I was calling this missing information. So, and it's still missing information. See, that's the issue. We have some clues now, which is that this is actually the virus. There may be other forms of missing information as well, but we know for one thing it's the virus, because Mars is inflammation, infection, and fever, and it's conjunct Neptune, which is illness and confinement, and hospitals, and all that. So, but it's also a spiritual retreat. So it has a light side too, not just a shadow side. But the fact that these are moving into conjunction here in the 4th house of home, this is the homeland, and it's making an exact square here to this eclipse with Venus retrograde conjunct the sun in the 7th house of people. And also the nodes have moved into the same axis that they were in during the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic, which you can also go back and look at that video. Or if possible, I could sometimes it's like it takes more time for me to go back and find the video and put it in as a card, but I will try to do that. But one way or another, you can go and you can find that video. So the issue around missing information is still important. So again, if you look at any videos prior to February 27th that I made, or if you got a reading from me prior to February 27th, and I was talking about this as missing information, now you know what some of that information is, but it's still missing because of the fact that we can't see it, okay? So you could be interacting with another human being at any moment in time and not realize that there's some very important missing information, which is that they may have the contagion and not be showing symptoms. Okay, so there's some very important missing information there that could impact you. Things appear to be better than they are. That's Venus retrograde. There's missing information. Something is hidden. There's a kind of deception. Sometimes the deception is intentional and sometimes not. But the fact that you could encounter any human being on any given day right now and not know if they're infected, that's missing information. And it's very important missing information. And the fact that we don't yet have the tests. There isn't widespread testing yet. So that's why I called this video Trump's Missing Information, because in previous videos before February 27th, I kept talking about Trump's deception, okay? So at the most basic level, Mars conjunct Neptune in Pisces, especially squaring the eclipse with Venus retrograde, just simply means there's missing information. Things are not what they appear to be. But now that we have more information, we can pinpoint what's hidden. We more clearly pinpoint what's hidden. What's hidden is the virus itself. You can't see it. It's invisible. It's floating around in the air. It's lying on various surfaces. It could be traveling around in any other person's body that you interact with, and you don't know. It's completely invisible. It could be in your body right now, for all you know. That's the missing information. So now this can manifest in other ways, but I'm just saying, because we know that we're living in the midst of this pandemic, we have a clue about what the missing information is, because there's no testing. So it's floating out there, it's invisible, and you can't see it, and things look like they're okay, but there's some missing, very, very, very important missing information. And as I said, with Mars being the ruler of inflammation, infection, and fever, conjunct Neptune, which is the ruler of illness and confinement and hospitals, and making this square. I mean, it's just like, I feel like I have to repeat myself, because I really, really, really want people to get this, Like, if you got a reading from me and I said that this is missing information, now you have a clue about what that missing information is. So if it's impacting you in a very personal way, like it is for me, the moon's going to be right over my natal sun at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. It's going to impact me in a very personal way. So if it's impacting you in your chart in a very personal way, that now you have a clue about what that missing information is. It's the virus. It's hidden. It's invisible. You don't know where it is. You don't know if it's floating in the air or on the surfaces or in somebody's body. Okay. And if they don't know, or if they know and they don't tell you, then there's the deception. Things appear to be better than they actually are. And that could impact you in a very personal way. So keep that in mind if you did get a reading from me earlier this year. Okay, so what else do you want to say? I think that's it for now, and I'll go let's go back and look at the that document again with the code red hot buttons. Okay, so global climate change, yeah. So we got to look at that. Going in and out of focus. Okay, let me pause this. All right, there we go, back in focus. Okay, so now I wanted to show you let me go make sure that we're on track here. The global climate change, that's Mars in Aries, because it will be in Aries from June 27th to November 14th. That's a super long time because it goes retrograde in Aries. So that will bring heat waves, droughts, forest fires, hurricanes, ice melt, and flooding. So let's go look at the Mars retrograde chart. Alrighty. Okay, so I've still got the eclipse chart up, so I want to bring up the Mars retrograde chart. All right, so Saturn is back into opposition with Mercury. All of these planets are now retrograde in second house Capricorn, the body and the government, all things material, institutions. So this is this is showing us things we hadn't seen before, and it's asking for transformation, okay, both on a personal level and as a nation. And Neptune is also retrograde, and Mars turns retrograde at 28 degrees in a square to Pluto, okay? So that happens on September 9th. But the fact is that Saturn will be in there all the way from the date that I had above. I'll go back and show you those dates again in case you want to put them on your calendar. But it crosses over our natal Chiron 3 times. First direct, and then retrograde, and then direct again. And let's see, the North Node is moving into conjunction with with Mars here. And so it will move into an exact conjunction with Mars during the Mars retrograde. So again, this is where the nodes were during the time of the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic. So we're seeing a repeat of history, okay? And just think about all the things that were happening during that time. Now, we were in the midst of World War I. I'm hoping that that won't be a problem because let's go back and look at the hot buttons again. So you can put on your calendar Mars in Aries from June 27th to November 14th. Again, that will bring heat waves, droughts, forest fires all summer. Then when we get into hurricane season, we'll have hurricanes. And during this entire time, we'll have ice melt, and which of course brings flooding and sea level rising. I should add that in. Okay, so those are all the effects of Mars during this intensely long transit of Aries. And the North Node is activating the natal Mars in and the chart. So that so Mars becomes the dispositor. And I'll explain what I mean when I go back to look at that chart again. But I also wanted to point out that a fourth hot button issue this year is the fact that it's a general election year. So we will have internal conflict. Pluto is moving closer to a Pluto return. And then there's the Saturn-Uranus square, which it's already in effect, but it will become more intense as we get closer and closer to Inauguration Day. And there will be an activation of that square on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021. Now, as far as external conflict is concerned, i.e. war, there are no indications currently visible for the U.S. to get involved in an external conflict. I hope it stays that way, because obviously we don't need a fifth hot button issue here. We've got enough to deal with. All right, so let me go back to that chart again and make sure that I've shown you all the dates that you need to keep in mind. So again, this is the Mars retrograde chart. So Mars will be in there from June 27th until it turns retrograde September 9th. So that's all of July, all of August, a little bit of late June, and a little bit of early September. But that's over 2 months. That's like 2.5 months of just going direct in Aries. That is intense. Then it stations retrograde. And as I said, when a planet stations retrograde, it's even more intense. And it's squaring the nation's natal Pluto. And it's crossing Chiron 3 times. So it then turns retrograde. It stations retrograde, squares Pluto, then it moves through again. So it'll cross the Chiron a second time. And then it stops at I think 14 or 15 degrees, somewhere around there, exactly opposite Saturn. So, so that will be, in a sense, somewhat a replay of the Saturn-Mars conjunction in Aries, when Mars goes into opposition to the nation Saturn. Because, again, this is pattern recognition. That's what astrology is. That's one of the things astrology is pattern recognition. So the the Saturn-Mars conjunction in Aquarius will give us clues about the Mars opposition to natal Saturn. And I'll look at that further as we move forward in time. So, all right, so I think that's it. I think I'll go back one more time to look at this document of Code Red hot buttons. And okay, so that's it. These are the karmic dominoes that are falling, getting clicked off. Click, 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 click. So the point is that we do have free will. The karmic dominoes are going to fall, but we have free will in terms of how we respond. So are you going to respond by living in panic and fear and hatred and blame and shame and shunning people and criticizing people and, you know, just taking on that energy that we all say we don't like, you know, we don't like haters. So we don't want to become haters. You know, the one thing that is so disturbing about Donald Trump is he refuses to take responsibility for anything except success. And he not only takes credit for success, but he takes credit for other people's successes. Like when he inherited the economy after, well, first of all, you know, George Bush obliterated the economy by by getting rid of regulations. So there's no regulation on these markets, and they collapsed just before he hit the end of his 8-year term. And Obama had to inherit that. And so after 8 years of struggling with very little help from Congress and but finally, you know, the economy did recover, and then Trump inherited that, and he takes credit for it. You know, he never gives credit to Obama. All he does is blame Obama. That's the kind of person we don't want to be, okay? And that's not pointing fingers or blaming. I'm just saying observationally, that's not the kind of person we want to be. Because I'm not asking Trump to save my economy. I'm saving my economy. I'm saving my finances. You know, I'm downsizing in my life. I'm paying off debt in my life. I'm reducing expenses in my life, and things that will help to advance me and move forward in my life, to follow my heart and walk my path with heart. Those things I'm more than happy to invest money in. I'm more than happy to pay for. I'm more than happy to put my time and energy and money and resources into those things, and not be blocked by fear and panic. It's about knowing what you love. It's about following your bliss and trusting that, trusting providence. When you fully commit, providence moves too. That's a quote by Edmund Hillary, who was the first man to reach the summit of Mount Everest, at least as far as we know. But, you know, that's a pretty incredible thing he did. And any of us can do that. Any of us can literally or figuratively, metaphorically reach the summit of Mount Everest. But you've got to have love in your heart and trust. You got to follow your bliss, follow your heart, walk a path with heart. That's the path to walk, okay? And, you know, I'll just keep repeating it over and over and over again in these videos, because if you don't pay attention to the opportunity that is being presented to us this year, you will lose it for a lifetime. You will never, ever, ever get this opportunity again. And that's no joke, you know. Yeah, I just don't know how intensely I can say that, you know, to get that message through. If you're sitting around in fear and panic and looking for someone to blame and someone to save you, then you're missing the point and you're missing the boat, you know. And I don't want any of my subscribers or viewers to miss that boat. I don't want any of my viewers or subscribers or patrons or workshop students or clients to miss that boat. It's a call to adventure. It's a call to initiation. It's a call to love. It's a call to power. Right now, for you personally. Alrighty. Again, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for notifications, click like on this video, share with friends and family and on social media, and leave your comments below. And after I work through everything else, like I said, I have to prioritize my clients, my paying clients first, and their readings and their questions, and then my workshop students, and then my patrons. And then I'm able to come back to YouTube and read through all of your comments. So if you want more one-on-one attention from me, then please become a patron and ask for what you want. You know, don't just think, oh, that's all she has to offer. You know, I thought there would be more here. I'm going to leave, patron. Because actually, if you message me or send me an email at admin@yvonnedavis.com and say, can you please do this such and such video, I will respond. You know, I have responded to patrons who specifically ask for things. So, so please do that. And if you want to take one of my workshops, but you can't afford it, then I just really want you to know that if you become a patron, you will qualify for discounts. If you've been a former client, you will qualify for discounts. If you need to be on a sliding scale because you've lost some of your income and you really need that help, then please let me know. I'm open to doing a sliding scale for people who have lost income through no fault of their own and might have wanted to take the workshop but can no longer afford it. The only thing I can't reduce right now are my readings, but if I get to a point where I can do that, then I will offer that. But unfortunately, that may not happen this year. So, so if you want a reading, if you are a patron or a former client or a student in one of my workshops, you will definitely qualify for discounts on readings, okay? So all you have to do is ask me and we'll negotiate it. All right, so that's it for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.